Hey y'all, welcome back to By Devin Nails. Today I'm going to be using decals from Nailzinacoffin and putting them together with some colors I shopped from my stash and totally forgot I had, and they were the perfect match. Nailzinacoffin is dropping all of their new and re-releases of Valentine's Day manis, and I'm so excited. This is the Elegance sheet. It is a full decal and it has so many gorgeous images with this dark blue, kind of navy, light pinks, tan, and gold accents, and a little bit reminiscent of some flowers in one of them. So I pulled Father Time from Paramount Dip, and I got these in a giveaway last year, actually almost about a year ago, because it was their New Year's Eve mystery box, and this blue was perfect for this decal, and I was so excited to be able to use it. Paramount has great dips. If you haven't tried them out, please do. Their Neon Rugrats line is one of my favorite sets. I also pulled another color that has disappointed me in the past. I absolutely love the way it looks, but I've never been able to get it to work well. It's Rose Macaron from Revel, but I used one of those organza bags, the ones that dips always come in, and I sifted out the large circle chunky glitters, and then I was able to hand place these, and this made all the difference. I haven't had to do this for many other dips. I use chunky dips all the time, but something about the composition of this dip, I just could never get the ratio right, and so this really helps. So if you have a chunky dip that's also causing you problems, try out this tip. All right, so I started with Father Time, and I'm going to do 2 or 3 dips of that. I think I do 2 on my thumbnail, and then I used just the kind of base color of Rose Macaroon on the pointer. This was a messy dip. It got everywhere. I don't know if it was just my space was super staticky, but you could just see it in that last photo. It was all over my hands. And yes, I'm messy. If you've been here before, you totally know I'm messy. But something about this rose macaroon, it was everywhere. So I pulled out my No Mess dip tray from Oasis, and that definitely helped, especially when I dropped base liquid on my No Mess dip tray. So I was so glad I had it because it easily wiped up and I did not move. I did not ruin my silicone sheet underneath. So yay. For this pinky nail, I did a little bit of just kind of freehand color blocking. I dipped in to get a little bit of that accent at the top with Father Time, and then put the rose macaroon on the bottom. And again, I just dipped into that base color that I was able to sift the big chunks out of. And now I'm going to go in and use my wax tip pen tool from Diplomatiq. And this is amazing. If you don't have one yet, please grab one. They sell them at a lot of different places. I grabbed this one from Diplomatiq when I was ordering some other things, and it works so great. So I just plunked these little big circles on here, and I tried to kind of make them look random. You can see there I pulled one so that they were overlapping. And I think I did a fairly decent job of making it look kind of random. And then I'm going to add some in a kind of diagonal pattern in a little less of a random fashion on to the thumbnail, trying to kind of mimic some of the lines from the decals that I'm going to be adding from that Elegance sheet. And then I dip it into the blue just so it looks all about the same level. And I'm going to go in and just kind of dust off this pinky. And now it's time to get ready for these decals. This dip tray made it so easy to just pour those right back in. It was amazing. I'm going to activate my 3 that I've already dipped. Here I pause because I'm like, oh, does it need something else? But I'm going to leave it be for now. And then I always like to add my decals on top of dip powder. I'm not sure, to be honest, if you can put them straight onto the nail tips or not, but I always like to add just a white. And this is Sassy Mouth Whipped Cream Glowkini. So these do have a glow. Unfortunately, I don't have pictures of it yet because I don't know. No pictures yet. But the Glowkini has an amazing glow. And I did a little bit of filing just to make sure that these had a nice flat edge. And I am using the liquid layer decal dish here, and it is amazing. Earlier in this video, you might have seen the bottle holder in green. It's great too. This is the rose gold color, and I'm obsessed. So go grab them. They're amazing. Liquid Layers is having their grand opening in early January, and it's going to be so fun, but you can shop right now. And I use the Maniology Sticky Base Coat. I have also used the Clear Jelly Stamper Sticky Base Coat, but my second bottle of it did not work out as well as the first bottle, so I've switched back to Maniology. So I do use a stamper to get this on, and then the sticky base coat has a really great dry time for me. Gives me time to do these little cuts around the edges and kind of push it around. As I'm cutting around the edges, I do try to think strategically about what the decal looks like, and I try to cut in a place where the overlapping won't be as noticeable. On this decal, it didn't really matter because of the way that the pattern is. It's kind of abstract and kind of marbly, so it really didn't notice anyways. But sometimes if you have a little bit more of like a picture, cutting where the picture isn't is a good idea. I do put acetone or activator. Here I use activator over the top and then use my silicone tip. It looks kind of like the wax tip, but it was a different tool. I got this one from Nailzinacoffin in one of their exclusive bundles, and it works great. So I do trim off when I'm making my press-ons. I just kind of trim enough that I can just fold it just slightly over the edge. That way, when I go in with my dip liquids or a gel top and base coat, I can cap the edge right around that tiny little bit that I've folded underneath. And I like to wipe them with alcohol. And then I do one coat of my regular base liquids over the top. I feel like this helps make them look nice and shiny and also nice and smooth. But I use the alcohol because I did use that layer of activator and I don't want to contaminate my brushes. And now I'm going to go in and put on my second decal. I really love the pattern here. Something about it reminded me of like little tiny flowers in the spring. And that's why I originally pulled Rose Macaron, because I felt like the white, or the round glitters rather, really matched these kind of almost flowers. It's kind of abstract. I'm not sure if it's like actually flowers or if I'm just seeing flowers with the abstract. It's kind of like that psychology test, those ink dip blots, right? What do you see? I see flowers. And I really love that for like a spring and Valentine's Day mani. Here I am using that silicone tip again just to press it down. And I do use my finger also. They can get a little bit sticky, so that's why I like to use that silicone tip. And then I do sometimes use my stamper to kind of press it down. I have a special dedicated stamper for decals because I just felt like the decals and the acetone and the activator and all of that stuff was making my stampers a little cloudy. So now I have one that I only use for decals. And as always, these Nailzinacoffin decals went on so easily. I absolutely love how they look. If you are putting them onto your natural nails, you can trim them down before you soak them. So you can kind of think about how big you need them to be. That way you have less excess to take off. I decided to be kind of lazy and not do my normal clear on top of these chunky glitters. So I did use Sundara Nails gel base and their clear builder gel. And then I used kind of a fun sparkly liner gel on the pinky, that one earlier that I was like, oh, I feel like this needs something more. And then their gel top coat. You do not need to use gel in order to do decals. I use a clear on top of them when I'm not going to use a gel, and then my regular dip liquids. I actually think that this lasts a little bit longer. So if you are doing them on your natural nails and hoping to get more longevity, I personally feel like using dip liquids, capping the edges, doing that clear layer over the top, activating, and then doing your regular buffing and dip liquids top coat with activator and all of that. I feel like that lasts a lot longer. These are press-ons, and to be very honest, I change my nails so frequently, maybe 2 to 3 times a week, so I don't need the longevity, and today I just didn't want to mess with the clear and the buffing, so I did my gel to be, fast. And here is our final look. This is your reminder to use some cuticle oil, and I will see you on the next one, y'all. Bye!